Great. So lovely to have you here. Let's just get started and right into this whole subject of what is important. How can women take care of their bodies? What is the right way to take care? And what is the right workout that we should be doing, especially now because, all across social media, we have this entire pressure and stress of how we should look a certain way. All kinds of we're subjected to this information, and this is how we should be working out, we should be lifting heavy weights, and only then will you achieve a certain body, and many such things. So what do you have to say about this? Please tell us.
We become a whole generation, a muscle building generation, right?
Right.
And there are two components to this. One part of it is, of course, appearance. Aesthetics have become a big part of our culture.
Exactly.
We have associated aesthetics with a muscular body, which was never the case before in history. Secondly, our lives are much more demanding today. Whether you're a woman or you're a man, your life, yes, you're not on the farm, but you also don't have a community. So the farm comes with its own set of labor, but also it had a cushion of the community, which is absent today. So we have become hugely responsible for ourselves.
Exactly.
And that being said, Shruti, what it does is it basically compels us to become tougher mentally and physical. We don't realize it, but the physical toughness actually it kind of borrows from that as well. Mentally tough, physically tough. But it's the survival of the toughest of the fittest. So these two things have come together, and they've put us in this whole culture where building muscle has become this really important thing for everybody. And so the concept is, how do you do that? How good is it for you? And what is the limit to which we do it, and how do we do it? So whatever. Let's start with anything you want to, and we'll go into all of this.
So let's begin with what each workout gives you in terms of the physiological aspect. Say, for example, what does yoga do versus what does gymming do to your body?
Yeah. So Shruti, what I want to do is, can we rewind a little bit? Okay. Muscle building was for the Kshatriya, was for the warrior.
Right.
What is the goal of the warrior? The goal of the warrior is that you go on the battlefield, Shruti, and you can die. Longevity is not the goal of the warrior.
Exactly.
Right? So you can pump up as much as you want, because you can die on the battlefield. It's given. Your life is to win a war. It is not for longevity. The yogi or the Brahmin lived for longevity. The Kshatriya had to be tough in his mind. The Kshatriya had to be tough in his body. The Kshatriya could not say that I'm going to sit peacefully and take a decision. He had to act like that. Right?
Exactly.
Now, today we are seeking like the yogi. We all want to meditate, we all want to be seekers, but we have bodies of a Kshatriya. Right? And it's a little mismatch that happens on that. So before we go to which kind of workout brings you what, I think this rewinding a little bit of understanding what we are doing to our body becomes extremely important.
Right.
And that's why I wanted to start here.
Okay.
The second thing, Shruti, I want to say is this, right? Women build muscle differently, and men build muscle differently. What building muscle does for women, it's very different from what it does for men, right? So now let's talk about that. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Shruti?
Let's.
Because it's very important, right? So whenever you build muscle, okay, what you're doing, you're essentially taking the fat in your body, you're taking other flesh, and it pumps out the juices out of it, and it becomes stiffer, right? So you literally say you have a piece of sponge full of water, okay, and then you squeeze the water out of the sponge, and now that sponge has more form and it has more shape, and it's become a little stiffer. It's not as taut, and that's what we are doing in our bodies. Women generally need to keep their fluids. I'm not saying they need to keep a lot of fat, but women need to preserve fluids. And so our bodies are protective to not build muscle faster. It's a defense mechanism of our body that don't build muscle faster, because The man will cut the wood. The man will go hunting. But you have to bear a child. And to bear a child,
Right.
you need fluids. Because, you know,
Right.
the egg swims in a fluid. The sperm comes in and swims to the egg in a fluid. The baby is... the baby is... guys, ignore that. So the woman needs the amniotic fluid in her system. So your body is very defensive towards building muscle. Your body doesn't want to build muscle quickly because the body says you need the moisture way more than you need the muscle.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That's why
All right.
women build muscle. It takes longer for women to build muscle.
Longer.
Right?
Right.
Bodies are not designed for.
Right.
That being said, what happens when we build muscle? When we build muscle, there's a hormone that rises in our body called testosterone, which is essentially a male hormone.
Exactly.
Right. So testosterone is very linked to muscle building. Is very linked to mental aggression.
Right.
So if you see, like those when you do a lot, when you do excessive muscle building,
excessive of weightlifting. Yeah.
Then you even become a little manly, which is fine. If that's your choice, it's fine. You become a little manly, but you also become aggressive in your personality. Now, as women have multiple roles, right? Like today we are working, today we are being mothers, we are doing, some of that is necessary. We need that mental toughness. Some of it is necessary. When you go over the top, the estrogen in your body, the estrogen is the female hormone. The female hormone keeps us not only female, it also keeps us happy. It keeps us less anxious. It keeps us less depressed.
Okay.
When women hit menopause and the estrogen goes down, they take hormone replacement therapy. They take estrogen. Because they get depressed. Estrogen keeps us happy, keeps us wanting to mate, keeps us in the game.
Exactly.
When you are doing excess testosterone and your estrogen naturally goes down, you become aggressive, but you also become anxious because the estrogen provides the fluids that you require. It keeps that saumyata. In Ayurveda, we say saumyata in your body. Right? And when that is gone. So I really wanted to talk about this because when a woman thinks longevity, when a woman thinks even aesthetics for a longer period of time, a woman must think that I would love to be all sculpted, and you should. Like, I've been sculpted. And I was, I think in the pandemic, I lost it a little bit, but I was sculpted for many years before that. But how sculpted do I want to be? And how do I want to get my sculpting? How do I want to earn?
Exactly.
Right? So I think that's basically the most important thing to understand and to address. And that's why I wanted to start this. That being said, when you build muscle over a period of time, systematically, slowly, gently, and lovingly to your body, that muscle will stay on your body longer. And that muscle will not deplete you as much. It will keep your femininity alive. Also, excess protein and excess muscle building will lead to infertility issues because you are just supporting testosterone, you're supporting muscle, and you're depleting estrogen. And over a period of time, you become harsh, you'll get hair on your chin, you'll get hair on, all kinds of body parts, and your fertility does go down for a lot of people. That does happen.
But does it also matter that, for example, if you're in your 20s, you can still manage, with the weightlifting kind of workout, if that's still kind of, your body will still be able to adjust with all that then and not post 30? Does it also function in that way?
Absolutely, Shruti. So when you are younger, right, Shruti, when you're younger, at that point, your body is protecting estrogen. It invites more. So it's protecting the fluid aspects. So then even if you go and you build out excess muscle, your body will have excess because you're still in childbearing years. So your body is more forgiving.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that we don't build muscle. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is we be very mindful of what is happening in our body as we're doing it. Because we don't want to be out there for 10 years building sharp muscle, and then feel like, oh my God,
Oh, and then end
now
up,
I'm infertile. I look like a man,
yeah.
and I don't. It's not by choice. I don't want to look like a man. I have become
And
aggressive,
you don't feel good
and I don't feel good. And I've become
eventually,
aggressive
yes.
more than I want to be, and I've become anxious more than I want to be.
Right, right. And does this sort of affect over time? You would probably feel amazing after a great workout, right? After lifting weights, you feel great and you feel all pumped up. But then it's over time that you start feeling these differences which are not in your favor.
Absolutely. Also, you know what happens, Shruti, is because short term, what happens in the very short term is that you feel adrenaline and you feel endorphins in your body. You get a lot of high from that whenever you work out, anything you do. And that feels so good, that adrenaline, endorphins. That doesn't matter what type of
Right,
workout you do, you'll still feel good. A workout will always feel good. Doesn't matter
right,
what the workout is. What is the underlying effect of the workout is really the question that you want to hold on to, right? So that means
right.
what are the few things that you have to be careful of, right? Lifting excess heavy weights in an intense period over short term, right? So really pumping and then leaving it, and pumping and then leaving it. Instead of pumping and then dumping your practice, you go moderate. So instead of
Right.
doing 150 pounds and 200 pounds weights, I'm sorry, I'm saying in pounds, but let's say 60 kgs and 40 kgs, you do small, you do 5 kgs, you do, lower weights. I mean, I know in pounds, like you do 2 pounds, you do 5 pounds, you
But
do
how can one determine how much of weight is suitable for you?
Exactly. So the other thing that I say, right, Shruti, when you have a door, right? You have a door and you have hinges. If the door is very heavy, what's going to happen to the hinges? Those little
Yeah,
things, right? So if the door is
yeah.
very
It'll start
heavy,
like
it start coming off. The hinges will start coming off.
unlocking. Yeah,
So the
yeah.
same thing happens to our joints. Our joints are like the hinges, right? And if you do really heavy weights, then your joints, in the beginning, you won't realize it, but it's like a hinge. This is really the hinge, and it's going to start depleting of the fluids. Your joints have synovial fluid, again, fluid, which really protects the joint. They will start going, they will start ripping apart. It'll become. So, how do you know? This is one of the reasons why I like yoga a lot, because yoga works with your own body weight. So as your
Right,
joint is becoming stronger and your body is becoming stronger, they're supporting each other. You're strengthening the hinges and the door at the same time.
right,
Right.
right, right. Absolutely.
And Shruti, I'm going to send you a picture personally, and I have it's from 1 year of consistent yoga and how slowly and nicely your body can be sculpted. And I'll send you a picture of mine. When I was doing lockdown, I've taken a little hit, but it's possible. And I always say yoga because yoga asana is actually, the side effect of it is a good body, but it's actually done to reroute energy in different places of your body. It's the only thing.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yoga workout, you're in all kinds of big places. You're like this, you're like this, you're like this, you're in every
yeah,
position.
yeah.
And when you do
Absolutely.
that, your blood flow changes. You are Yoga was designed to unlock trapped energy in different bandhas of your body, in different locations of your body. Energy is released, organs are stimulated, and the rerouting of energy as well as blood happens. For
Right,
me,
right.
yoga is a no-brainer. It is the best form of exercise for women. And it doesn't
Sure.
mean that you have to do very light yoga. You can do a little bit of more. I don't believe in
Of,
hot yoga.
of course, but yeah, me neither. Of course, I mean, there are various asanas that you just cannot do unless and until you have strength. You have to achieve a certain strength and balance, only then will you be able to achieve it in the right way, in the right posture, right alignment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So absolutely right. So then, like a headstand, right? Like a handstand, like a
Exactly,
dolphin, and then you hold
exactly.
longer. You hold longer, and you really do it right. You
Sure.
do it in alignment.
Yes.
And the benefits go way beyond your body. It goes to your mind, it goes to your body, it goes to your senses, it goes to your organs, it goes to your endocrine system. So I feel like yoga is a really, really good way to be able to do this, to really build the muscle in the right places. Plus, muscle that is built slowly will last you
Hmm.
longer.
last
There's
long.
something called the
Absolutely.
slow movement, which talks about very slow exercises. Because the thing is, if you've not pumped juices directly out of your body, so imagine when you're pumping like a lot, your body goes into a defense mechanism. It goes into shock. It's in shock, right?
Right.
A lot of
Right.
lactic acid is released and your body is into a shock. And as soon as it can, it wants to restore normalcy.
I always stick to just yoga and functional workout or anything that's got to do with using your own body weight.
Exactly. And so, Shruti, you already said it. Intuitively, you already understand it. That, okay, and of course, if you need to do it because you're doing a role, you're understanding it's my career and I'm doing it. But you understand, your wisdom tells you that how am I going to build this? I really want to, again, drive home this point. When you do an intense workout routine in a short period of time, your body essentially thinks you're in emergency mode. Your body doesn't know what your intent is to build. Your body thinks, oh my God, something really wrong has happened with this person. Probably running hard or lifting heavy weight and she's in crisis. So as soon as your body it will dump that muscle. It'll say, okay, now it seems like you're feeling better. Now let's get
better. Yeah.
बच्ची को ठीक कर देते हैं वहाँ पे से बच्चे ने बहुत मेहनत की है, your body says. But if you fool your body and slowly you build the muscle, like I'll tell you, Shruti, I used to do 1 hour of exercise every day, 1 hour of yoga, and for years, and great results. Lockdown, it's been 1 year, and I maybe do 3 or 4 times a week, 30 minutes. I have not changed a single size has not changed in my, nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Because the body thinks that's normal. Your body, whatever you fool your body with what's normal. It might take time to build it up, but when you fool your body, this is normal over 4 seasons, over a whole year, your body will say this is normal. It will keep bringing you back. You'll go on a vacation, you'll junk out, but your body will bring you back right away.
Yeah. And of course, even all the breathing exercises that we do in yoga, they're not easy. They all, internally, like deepest of the core is affected, right? Because they're so powerful.
They're so powerful. And I'm not just saying, right? Like for a lot of people, okay, the minute I'm like, okay, you just have to do yoga, they find it super boring. I'm like, you don't have to do yoga. You actually don't just have to do yoga. You can do, like you said, you do resistance bands, you do other stuff.
Yeah.
Yoga gives you benefits beyond the mat. I'm also a big advocate of Zumba, a huge advocate of dance. And again, dance is a great form of cardio. See, I tell you, running, you can hurt your knees. And you still, running is fun. I'm not going to say it's not fun, right? But you can technically hurt your knees. Other kinds of cardio workouts also, are very limited to some aspects.
Yeah.
Dance is very balanced. When you're dancing, your mind gets involved, rhythm gets involved, music is involved. There's different steps. There's front movement, back movement, side movement, all kinds of movements.
Yeah.
So it balances you. This is what I say,
Exactly.
Shruti. I'm like, whenever I do Zumba, I lose myself. I lose myself on a dance floor. And whenever I do yoga, I find myself.
Yeah.
But they both put me in the
That's beautiful.
But they both
That's
put me in the
beautiful.
same state.
Exactly. I know what you mean.
It's intoxicating. Both states.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So that's what so I mean, these are my 2 big suggestions to most people is dance, even if you're not a dancer. It'll balance the 2 sides of your brain.
Exactly.
And practice yoga. You want a little bit more, do like resistance bands. You want a little bit more, do light weights. After you've done the yoga practice, you build it up, then you do light weights. And stomach reduction, somebody asked for stomach reduction, and I want to say this one thing. Most people really do abs for stomach reduction. And yes, you will do your abs, definitely. But one thing that people completely miss out, stomach reduction, and I think even trainers don't teach this, twisting through this area. Right? Even if it's a chair, recently a client of mine she fractured her leg. And, she was like in this process of kind of losing the weight on this. I said, even if you're just sitting on a chair and you practice twisting, what that does, it doesn't always have to be this crunching movement. Twisting movement really shakes the fat in your belly and allows it to be, allows it to break down. So even if you're doing abs all the time, unless you are doing some twisting action, the metabolism will really, really speed up. if you do the twisting action.
If you do the twisting, yeah.
So anybody
Yeah.
who wants to lose weight and on their stomach, and then the problem is, Shruti, what happens is that when you have weight on your stomach, it's very hard to even do abs. You don't have the muscle to
Yeah.
do abs.
And right. And I think it's not, you're not going to get those cuts anyway. First, you need to reduce the fat. Only then can you start working on getting the definition.
So true. And then people are so disappointed because they're like, "Arey, kuch bhi kar liya, to पेट का तो वजन घटता ही नहीं है." But the thing is, right, Shruti, like you said, it's basically because when you have that weight, there's no definition happening. So
Yeah.
to lose the weight, you basically need to do twisting.
Right.
So
Right.
twisting is the most important thing, I would say, for losing weight on your abs. Twisting and cardio. You definitely need cardio for stomach. The cardio I recommend is my first recommendation for cardio is dance. If dance is not your thing, then you can consider running. Make sure that you run with oil on your knees. If you see traditionally, Shruti, if you see the wrestlers in India, they've always oiled their body.
Oiling, yes, yes.
I even tell people, and the oil was not for show. Today we might find it sexy, that, oh my God. But that's not really why it was done. It was actually done to protect their joints. And
Right.
so I'd say even if you go to work out, if you can have a little bit of oil on your body and then work out. Not only that will actually help also the oil to seep in deep into your pores. In Ayurveda, Abhyanga.
So like say half an hour before the workout, somewhat like that?
Shruti, if you put oil even a thin layer, and then you work out at home.
Okay.
Then your body heats up, it warms up, the oil penetrates really deep.
Right.
And the hydration that it does for your body, it goes in the right places, that oil, and it just goes in the right channels. Even food can't reach there. That kind of water can't reach there. That's why Abhyanga in Ayurveda is done before the exercise, and it's for the nourishment of your cells.
Right.
That's brilliant. So I'd say that even if you go running, of course, you don't want to slip anywhere.
Even swimming. Swimming is also, of course, very beneficial. Yes. I think swimming, yoga, Pilates, using the resistance band, strength training, functional workout using your body weight, all these things definitely are extremely helpful and very easy to achieve as well.
Absolutely. Very, very easy to achieve. Swimming is something that I just forget to talk about, Shruti, because I live in a that's so cold.
I think also because of this 1 year of staying at home and not visiting a pool has sort of, made us forget about swimming. Because here in India, of course, the pools aren't functional. So yeah, that's how it's been.
No, I never talk about it somehow. Like even before, I always forget, but it is such a...
Swimming also helps a lot in injuries, in healing injuries.
It's an injury-free workout.
Right, exactly.
So that's the best part about swimming. It's an injury-free workout. You can do it at any age. It's great for the heart. Definitely one of the best ones.
Right. And so, Nidhi also... Yeah, please.
No. Tell me.
Yeah, so we also want to know what is it that we can take as supplements to increase our protein intake, because the kind of supplements that we get from from outside in the market, how good are they for the body? So because after all, they're also filled and processed, and various other elements and chemicals are added to it. We don't know how good it is for the body in the long run. So please tell us that.
So Shruti, the thing about protein intake is the problem with our generation is actually not less protein. You won't believe it, but it's actually we are having more protein than we need to. Your body, the hardest time it has is to break down protein. It is the most difficult thing for your body to break down. Protein is just generally very hard. So your liver has to work very hard. Your kidneys have to work very hard to break down protein. Here we are constantly dumping ourselves with protein, and your body sometimes, if the protein source is not a natural source, your body is like, this is a foreigner. Your liver is like an immigration officer. I say your liver is an immigration officer. Its job is, who do I let in and who do I, dump out? And it usually tries to, whatever it needs to dump out, unfortunately, is toxic waste. And your liver does the best job of trying to help it to be a little less toxic. But imagine an immigration officer with really long lines. At some point, he's going to be like, you know what, just get out.
Yeah. Right.
And autoimmune disorders, directly linked to all of this. Taking
Oh,
is excess process, anything that your body does not recognize as food is scary for your body, right? Earth recognizes earth. So I don't know if I asked you this a couple of days ago, but I was talking to somebody and I said, when you put a potato peel in your soil, even if you put a human body, when you put a human body that's dead, you put it in the soil, everything disintegrates. There's some bones left,
right,
because the earth knows earth. You put a
right.
plastic bag in the soil, you'll come back after 10 years, that plastic bag will still be there. Because
Exactly.
if it's not come from nature, nature doesn't know it.
Right.
If it comes from
Absolutely.
nature, nature understands it, recognizes it.
Exactly.
And the same thing, when we take supplements, which are artificial, isolate proteins, when we take a lot of isolate proteins, which are
Yes.
completely,
Yes.
which are like isolated compounds, your body cannot recognize it. It's a foreigner to your body.
Yeah.
That being
Yeah.
said, there are certain sources of protein that are not, which are pretty good, like the lentils, pulses, or dals.
Yeah.
Having dal,
Yes.
you need to also have dal only with a good amount of fat and spices. You have plain dal, it's too much for your body. It's too dry
Right.
for your body. So you need to have good
Yeah.
amount,
A
a
little
good
bit of ghee.
ghee, a little bit of spices. You can even have sattu powder. Sattu powder is also full. A lot of times people find it a little bit heavy. I say start low. Have it with chas. You can even have
So
it with,
sattu is a good source of protein, and you can sort of, instead of having a protein powder from the market, you rather have this sattu powder, right? That's what's more beneficial.
yeah, it's roasted. It's roasted pulses,
Roasted, yes.
roasted pulses and ground. Ideally in Ayurveda, you have sattu powder with oil. You actually put oil in it. There's a whole way of making it. There's oil, a little bit of jaggery, but I'm not even going to go into
Right.
that because we've pampered our palates. We may not be able to enjoy that. But if you have sattu powder and you make a kadhi out of it, for example, you make a proper
Uh-huh.
kadhi out of the
Uh-huh.
powder, and you have
Uh-huh.
it in a kadhi form. You have it in a glass of milk, and you add a little bit of jaggery or mishri to it, or you
Yes.
have it like that. You can start enjoying your sattu powder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put it in a fluid and have it like that. Or and you can have your dals. You can even have the water from paneer, the whey water from paneer,
Yes. Yes.
the
Yes.
chena.
Absolutely.
Chena is such a great food. I'm like, make sandesh every day in the summer. If it's right now it's summer, make rose sandesh with rose water every single day and cardamom. It'll help you with.
So the water that you use, the water that comes out once you've made the paneer is actually includes a lot of protein.
Yeah, and that's whey. That's literally whey. That's what whey is.
Right, right,
That's
right,
what whey
right.
is. We call it
So do not throw away that water.
Yeah, in my house, when
Yeah.
we make paneer, we use the water to make the roti ka atta.
The gravy. Ah, right, exactly. I used to do that too.
Yeah, or cook.
In fact, it tastes really nice because it's got a little sweeter
Yeah.
flavor to it. Yeah.
And you can even cook rice in it.
Cook. Yeah,
So
yeah.
instead of having
Right.
rice, you wash
Or
it.
just add it to the vegetable you're making, for example, if you're making a paneer vegetable, whatever vegetable you're making.
Right. So you can do that, and you can also do,
Right.
and you can do a sandesh. What I said, chene ka mithai. Every day you can make a sandesh.
Right.
You
Right.
can also have
Right.
a little bit of paneer, but you have to be exercising to be consuming paneer. If you're not
Paneer.
exercising,
Okay.
you cannot. Paneer you can have for fun. You can't do it every day. Unless you're
Okay.
exercising,
Okay.
or you're a child. So we have these, and these are plenty of sources. Even sesame seeds in the winter are a great source.
Right.
During the winter, you can't have sesame seeds during
Yes.
the summer. They're very
Yes. What about the other seeds like pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds? And then we have almonds, walnuts. All these are also sources of protein?
Absolutely. If your body is used to them and your body knows how to break them down. Like for me, soaked and peeled almonds are a staple. Like it's a part of my
Right.
life. Like
It's an everyday thing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. And you never get bored of it. But I'll still say that relying just on that may not be enough. I think including good ghee. Why ghee is important? Ghee by itself may not have a lot of protein, but ghee is very supportive to the breaking down of protein. Because
Exactly.
protein
For
drives.
the absorption.
Yeah, the absorption.
Yes.
We need to start functioning more on absorption of protein than the consumption
Right.
of protein.
Right. Absolutely.
We are just consumption. It's like getting everything from the markets to make a great recipe, but your gas doesn't work. What are you going to cook it
Yeah.
with? So we
Yeah.
have the raw
Yeah.
materials, we don't have the machinery.
Right. Right.
So you can have some pumpkin, you can have some sunflower, we can have all of this, but I'll definitely tell you it's extremely, extremely important to have the good fats with the protein. So I
Right.
think the
Right.
moral of the story is you have proteins, you need the good fats with the proteins.
Okay, Nidhi, I'm just quickly going to take some questions
Yeah, let's
because
do that.
people are, they've been here for a while now and they have some amazing questions.
Yeah, whatever.
A foodie Potter has asked if we can have sesame in spring, and what is the right time to have of having seeds? What is the right time when we can have seeds? And if we can have them soaked in summer? Yes, I think we can have them soaked in summer or all the time, right?
So you can have your sunflower pumpkin seeds soaked, and
Soaked,
but I would
right.
not say that
For
go.
a couple of hours is enough, I think.
Yeah, and I would not say go crazy with those seeds in the summer. I would say do doses, right? So, for example, the right time to eat sesame is Jan 14th, literally Sakrant. There is a reason
Right.
why it's like this because your body has been dry
Yeah.
from the winter, and and that sesame oil in January to take you through the Jan and Feb, and your Agni is really high in Jan, which means whatever you give it will break down beautifully well, and you every year make a rule 2 weeks, Jan 14th to the last week of Jan. You have a tablespoon of, or a teaspoon of toasted sesame with gur, or you have tilka laddu, and that's fine too. But then
Yeah.
serious,
Yeah.
if you're living in a country which has a cold spring, you can do sesame in
Then you
that
can even longer.
hot
Yes.
spring. Please don't do sesame. You're going to break out. You're going to be some kind of internal heat that's going to be created in your system. So you want definitely be mindful of that. And give yourself like
Right.
days to eat seeds. Don't do it every day. And also flax seeds are so heating. Oh my God,
Okay.
I can't even tell
Okay.
you how much I struggle with this. So many people come to us with skin
Oh.
conditions. They come to us with skin conditions, and then we're like, okay, give me your food journal. And they're like, flax seeds, flax seeds, flax seeds, flax seeds, flax seeds, chia, flax seeds, flax seeds.
Oh God.
Flax seeds.
Yeah, well, actually, a lot of these, beliefs that keep floating around the internet and then social media, and then, because it all functions differently in everybody's body, right? So, what may suit me may not suit you, and the other way around.
And there's
So,
some things
we
that suit
must,
nobody. Shruti, that being said, there's some things that suit nobody. Like there's food and then there's medicine, right? Flaxseed is great for a short period of time when you're using it for a specific cause. It is not food. It's not food.
so it's not something that's supposed to be had every day.
Every day. It's not for everyday consumption.
So, not like in the mukhwas and all, like how we usually have it in the mukhwas.
Oh my
Or
God.
that much is fine.
No, you can't
Isn't
have
that
flax
much
seeds every
fine if,
day. If you have a skin
okay.
condition, if you break out anywhere in your body, please, the yogis lived for 100 years, 120 years. I'm sorry they did not have flax seeds. And I want to talk about tofu as well, what tofu can do. They did not
Yes.
have they did not have flax seeds every day. They didn't do all of this. They had good ghee, they did their yoga, they had nourishing foods. Our generation, we have stopped eating nourishing foods. We are constantly eating depleting foods. Yes,
Right,
depleting foods
right.
have their benefits, but they have to be used as medicine in a small quantity.
Exactly.
Most of
Yeah,
our food is
yeah.
depleting.
So what do you have to say about tofu?
The
Soya and tofu, like soya chunks and tofu?
I'll tell you. So if you're Asian and your genes know for generations how to break down tofu, please go and consume tofu. You probably know the right way to make it.
If you're Asian.
If you're Asian and
Yeah.
your genes know how to break down tofu because your
Right.
ancestors have done it. Our body adapts.
Okay.
Whatever we do, your body will
Okay.
adapt over a generation or two. It will adapt. But if you are not Asian, and tofu will play with your estrogen levels. If you're a man,
Right.
I've had men who like we have man boobs suddenly, and I'm like, oh, what have you been doing? Tofu, tofu, tofu. It'll give you man boobs, and for women it will play with your estrogen levels. Does it
Right.
mean you'll
Right.
never have tofu? Please have tofu. Have it once a week. Have it when you go to
Once
an
a month.
Asian place. Have it because you enjoy it.
Sure.
Don't have
Sure.
it because it is.
As a part of your everyday diet.
Yeah, and I don't have like, oh, I have to get my soy in today, or I have to get.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah.
Have it for
Exactly.
fun. Don't have it for health.
And the same goes for soya chunks?
It's the same family.
Because again, that's processed.
It's the same family, and it's the same family. It's the tofu family. It comes from the same thing.
Yeah.
It comes from soy, and
Right.
that
Right.
soy is not. If your body is not used to soy, it's not really for you. So we always have to ask ourselves, Shruti, always short-term game versus long-term game. And I always use the
Right.
example of Jennifer Lopez, who always plays the long-term game. You look at her in 2000, you look at her in
Sure.
2021. Not much has changed. She always
Yeah.
lives in moderation. Always has
Right.
the long
Right.
game. We need to
Right.
ask ourselves on a daily basis. Like I'll tell you, Shruti, like I came back from India and I was like, you know what, I'm just not going to eat dinner for a few days. And I was calling my mom and I was talking to her, I said, Mom, I'm not going to eat dinner. And my mom, oh my God, like she's 65. She's gorgeous, Shruti. She's something else, right? And she's maintained her body over years. And I was just like, okay, Mom, I'm not going to. She said, Nidhi, don't do that. Because you know what? The minute you get your body used to something, right? Then when you go back,
Yeah.
it's so hard.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, short term, this not eating dinner is going to feel really good. But long term, it's going to damage my body because now my body, when I give it dinner, it's going to be like, no, like I don't want food. You know?
Yeah.
So you always got to remember. Let's take more questions, whatever questions you want.
Yes. Also, I have another question. What do you have to say about women working out during the menstrual cycle? Which is the right day and which is...
Thank you so much, Shruti, for that question. Thank you.
Yeah, please.
So if you have your period, you don't work out. And the reason for that is that there is a energetic flow which is going downwards in your body. And your temperature changes, your hormones and chemicals change. Your body has temporarily gone off balance. Now, Shruti, people say, oh, period is natural. We can do everything in the period. You know what? Guess what? A hurricane is also natural. A tsunami is also natural. And a snowstorm is also natural. But the earth goes out of balance, right? The earth will go out of balance when it happens.
Absolutely.
So when you have your period, your body goes off homeostasis for a short term, and then it needs to find its way back. You have to support it by not giving it any excess burden. You also have to allow that energetic flow downwards. Day 1, 2, 3, no exercise. Day 4, if your bleeding has become 50% or less, you can start doing something. Day 5, most people with a healthy cycle are clear by day 5. You can do, don't start with cardio on day 5, start with other forms of exercise. When you're done with it, go do whatever you want. Give yourself that time break.
Right. Okay. Great. So let's just take some more questions now. Nami Jain wants to know if milk and curd should be consumed and what time, and whether cow milk is better or buffalo milk.
If you get good quality milk, it is a great food. If you get good quality milk, there are ethical issues with milk. I'm not going to say they're not.
Right.
But if you consume, but the only way you can consume milk, and only those can consume milk regularly who do regular pranayam and asana. Because what asana and pranayam do, they open up the nadis in your body. They open up the channels of your body. And if you consume a hot cup of milk right after your breath work and your asana, and you put a spice, you have to put spice in it. It has to be hot and it has to be full fat. All of this. Then the milk penetrates into all of those nadis and nourishes your nervous system.
Right. So what do you mean by adding spices like, for example, haldi or cinnamon and something of that sort? But even haldi milk in Indian summers, isn't it too hot?
So you don't have haldi, and you can have elaichi at that point.
Elaichi, right.
You can have liquid, which is mulethi or jai shrimad, you know. So there's,
I personally so depending on the weather, we just,
Absolutely. Depending on the weather, you definitely can do a different spice in each weather. But that's when you have milk, is after your pranayam, after your asana, you have a hot cup of milk. That's the right time to have milk.
Okay. So that's not like during the day.
Yeah. You can have it at night also.
Yeah.
You can have it at night.
You can have it
as a tranquilizer.
Okay. And how about intermittent fasting? Is that good for everyone?
So if you're not a depleted person, See, you know, Jains in India, right, Shruti? Jains, they do like my parents have done intermittent fasting their whole life. My mom has done, right, which is what she eats at 6:30. There is no 16-hour period. Everybody's body goes into ketosis differently, but you
Right.
know, you eat before, especially if you're in India, you eat before sunset, because sunset is pretty much 6:37. You know, the whole year round. It's the whole year round, same length of the day pretty much, and then you eat in the morning after the sun rises, and that's fine. And you can do this your whole life. If you're
Exactly.
if you're an athlete, you are very depleted, you know, you're
Uh-huh.
recovering, you may need little more food. Honor your body and give it.
Got it. Yes. So maybe just like a small snack before bedtime, maybe a glass of milk or something like
Glass of
that.
milk, more like a glass of milk, a warm, you know, some soaked almond.
But it's so true, like when you have your dinner by 6:30, you actually, if you have like a proper dinner, like with your dal, chawal, roti, whatever you have, you don't feel hungry later. But if you have your dinner after, say, 8 or 9, you don't feel satiated. Your body still wants something more, and it doesn't know what it wants.
It doesn't know what it wants is exactly the right thing, Shruti. Your body gets all cranky and antsy, you know.
Yeah.
It gets all
Yeah. And then you want to have something sweet and yet you don't feel satisfied. And then you want to munch on something else. And then you feel hungry again later in the night if you're up. So, yeah, the body is kind of confused what it was trying, what it was given. And the timing wasn't right. So it's not able to digest it correctly as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Shruti. You're absolutely right. It's that antsy feeling. And you know, of course, if you
Right.
want to do intermittent fasting, you must eat in the daytime and not eat at nighttime. Sometimes people do intermittent fasting. I met somebody, Shruti, they're like, I'm fasting. I'm doing intermittent fasting. I only eat dinner. I'm like, that's
Huh?
wrong. No, because people are like, oh, we only eat dinner. And I eat at one night.
Ah,
Because you know, we are diurnal. You know, the meaning of diurnal is we are not like bats and we are not like owls where we wake up at night. Your body,
right.
human beings are
Absolutely.
diurnal. All animals,
Absolutely.
all animals on the planet, Shruti, have a clock. So, you know, when you go to a safari, they know when the lion will come out. They know the tiger
Yeah.
comes
Yeah.
out at this time. You know, the crocodile will come
Yeah.
out to get sun at some time. We are the only people
Right.
who think, because we think we're so smart, now we can just change that clock and we can eat whenever we want. You know?
Yeah. And because now we have everything at our disposal, so because we have a fridge and it's stocked, so we can just pick up anything at any point of time.
We want to become
But
smarter than
earlier, of
nature.
course,
We want to be smarter than nature. That's basically what's the problem.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Olive.
Garden Crush, Chandrashur, Olive, it's all the same thing. But
Okay,
heating, you can't do it in the summer.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
So that's only for winters,
that's only for winter.
for hair
Yeah,
growth and
yeah. I mean,
okay,
yeah, and
great,
that's not for
great.
everybody. It's never.
Yeah, I think also, what do you have to say about taking vitamin B12 supplements?
So there's one thing that I want to tell you guys is this. That, you know, Shruti, this is so important and it's a little hard to grasp this concept. You know, when you go for a blood test, you have a range of all substances in your body. You have a range, vitamin B, vitamin D, iron. So what your body does, it likes to be within a range, right? Which means when you have excess sugar or glucose, your body instantly says, your body is always monitoring levels. It's always monitoring levels. For anything that goes up, your body has a way to bring it down. A healthy body has a way to bring it down. So if you have sugar, if you have high sugar, your body will pump insulin and it will say bring the sugar
Right,
down, right? So when people have diabetes, they cannot pump insulin anymore. So for everything you do. So now when you have a lot of supplements, what your body is saying, it's making an assessment. They said vitamin B is enough. We have it. So don't make your own. It's not going to
right,
make its own
right,
and have it in your bloodstream. It's just measuring your bloodstream all the time. It's already saying that this quota has been met. So when the quota is met externally, then your body is not going to work hard to synthesize its own B12. So
okay,
for
okay.
anything that you give your body, it's like, ठीक है, मिल गया, अभी नहीं चाहिए हम लोगों को, मिल
हाँ,
गया already.
हाँ,
You know, we have it.
हाँ,
So that's
हाँ.
why, Shruti, I always say that take supplements. If you have a long-term deficiency and your body is just not synthesizing that vitamin, please go ahead and take it or fortify your foods. But if your body is able to synthesize, just as a preventative, don't take supplements every day. Because what you're going to do is your body's ability to synthesize its own vitamins is going to be defeated, because your body will still like to be in the
Right.
range. If you're giving it, the body is not going to work hard to make its own.
Exactly.
So
Yes. Yes.
kill the intelligence of the body once.
That goes, it goes the same for vitamin D as well.
Vitamin D, if you put good amount of oil on your body and you go out in the sun with that vitamin D for even 15-20 minutes, that's how yogis got their vitamin D. There's no deficiency. Shruti, in my body, there's no deficiency and I don't take supplements. But there's no vitamin D deficiency. There's no vitamin B12 deficiency.
But what is the right time to, take a sun bath if you have to, like for 10, 15
10
minutes?
o'clock, before 10.
Before 10.
Before 10.
Yes. And then afternoon, like late afternoon?
It's no, the UV rays are too
That's
strong.
not the right.
Yeah.
Too strong.
But if you put oil in the morning, you know how you put babies in India, you put babies out and like you get them a little bit of
Exactly.
with the oil on their body.
Yeah. But isn't that better just during the winters, like, or is it fine in the summers? Because Indian summers are really very extremely hot.
No, so then don't do it in the summer. It's fine. Don't do it in the summer. In the
fine.
summer, you can sit under a shade. You don't have to be in direct
Right.
sunlight. You have to be exposed to the sun with the window open.
Right.
That's when the UV rays will penetrate, and that's when your skin will give a signal to start the synthesis of vitamin D, and then your liver and kidneys will help in the manufacturing of vitamin D.
Okay.